Why? What you guys just saw was the final straw in my decision to say Lapras VMAX absolutely sucks in the expanded format. Hello, my name is Checkered, or Nick, and this is my summary of sorts, my report on Lapras VMAX in the expanded format. For those of you that don't know, I stream on Twitch, and a new thing I'm going to start doing is playing every single VMAX in order of release, so from Sword and Shield base to whatever we're at now, Battle Styles, and see how well they play in expanded. See, you know, different archetypes, different ways of playing them, which one is, in my opinion, the best. It's all my opinion, by the way. It's nothing, there's no stats behind this other than I lost a lot, which might reflect on myself. But no, it reflects on the deck, not myself. I'm a great player. But yeah, Lapras VMAX. Let's get into it. So when I first started playing Lapras VMAX, my initial thought was to play it with Frostmoth. That's how people play it in Standard. That's it. They were released at the same time, so they're kind of designed to go together. So I tried it with Frostmoth, and I saw a reasonable amount of success with it. But what I didn't see was anything good. It wasn't consistent. It wasn't nearly as strong as I had hoped it would be. I think in part it's due to the fact that Lapras' attack isn't really that good. 90 plus 30 for each energy attached to it isn't the strongest attack. If it was like 40 for each, I think it would be, obviously it would be better, but it wouldn't be like game-breakingly better. And also, another fact was Lapras VMAX lacks a secondary attack. A lot of the VMAXs, especially the playable good ones, have a secondary attack. For example, you got Rapid Strike or Shifu with Gale Thrust, as well as Rapid Flow VMAX, whatever it's called, to hit two things. It has two attacks. There's two options for us different situations. But Lapras just has the one, whatever it's called, this attack right here, where it does 90 plus 30 for each water attached to it. So I tried it with Frostmoth, because, you know, Blastoise doesn't really seem that good anymore. So started with Frostmoth. I won maybe two out of the 10 games I played, and I think one of them was in part to my opponent playing a donk deck, so they just conceded when I started 2 Lapras Vs. So not a good start. Also a big issue with the deck is there lacks comeback. So once a Lapras dies in this specific variant, it has all the energy attached to it. So no matter how much power and like how set up you are, you need a lot of cards to come back from losing a Lapras with, say, 6 energy. You need another Lapras VMAX or a V and evolving into a VMAX on the bench. You need some superior energy retrievals. You need a way to get them back. They Starmie, like, it's at that point you're running so much garbage in your deck. So two superior energy retrievals. You need the energy, you need to have a way to retreat. You need to probably do that without playing a draw supporter. You want to play like Lysander or Guzma to kill something. So you need a lot of tools. And in order to do a lot of damage, like, you need a lot of energy. You need what, like 4 or 5 energy? Yeah, you need 4 energy to deal 210. And then it goes on from there, which is what Lapras V does already. For 4, it does 210, and it returns 2 waters to your hand. So at that point, you might as well just not play the VMAX. Like, the VMAX is just so underpowered. The next variant I played was with Quagsire. I thought, okay, so this Frostmoth isn't working out too much, you know, you need to have a lot of switch, you need the Keldeo with the Floatstone to switch, since you can only attach it to the bench with Frostmoth. So I'm like, alright, why don't we try it with Quagsire and with like all the turbo cards? You know, you got Max Elixir and Aqua Patch, 2 very strong cards. So I tried that out, and it was a little bit better. I had a lot more fun with it. Quagsire is a really cool, fun card. Much like Frostmoth, but, you know, it's Quagsire, it's cooler. And again, it was just really underpowered. The problem with the deck wasn't necessarily the consistency or you know, what was going on in the deck. It was the fact that Lapras VMAX attack just sucks. It's so weak, and no matter how much turbo you have, you're nowhere near as powerful as like any other of the acceleration decks, like Dark Box, or even like a Fire Welder deck or a fighting deck with elixirs and stuff like that. It's so much weaker. And I don't know why. I mean, I guess it was the first wave of VMAXs I wanted to try stuff out, but it was just terribly weak. You would die, and you'd run into the same issue where all your energy's in your discard, but you have no way to get them back out since you're not running Frostmoth or Quagsire instead in hopes to get ahead early, which is basically impossible with this deck. So that got scrapped. So we had Frostmoth scrapped and Quagsire scrapped. So I kind of basically gave up at that point, but I wanted to try the final variant, the original Water Turbo deck, Archies and Blastoise. Now, ever since they got rid of the turn one supporter rule, meaning you can only play a supporter on the second turn, or if you're going second, right, you can't do it on your first turn. Archie's has been significantly weaker. I don't think anyone's even been playing an Archie's deck, or even those other two, the new ones that came out. Just because if you go first, you're just boned. You're a whole turn behind because you can't do anything. So I tried that out. Maybe it would be better, and it wasn't. It's not, it, again, had absolutely nothing to do with the consistency of the deck. The deck drew fine. I was able to get Archies off almost every time. The problem was two things this time. It was people goosebuying the Blastoise and killing it early, like you saw at the beginning of the video. And it was, you need to get the VMAX set up. So not only do you need Archies into the VMAX, you need to draw off those 5 cards a way to get a Crobat or a Dedenne. And out of the Crobat or Dedenne 6 cards, you need to get Ultra Ball, you need to get some energy cards, you need a lot to get into this VMAX. It's not just standard where you just put a basic down, load it up, and smack them real good with like a Keldeo, or actually it's only ever really been Keldeos. Keldeo EX, GX, or V. Right? So whether it's you're losing to consistency, your hand sucks, or your opponent just kills your Blastoise, that you're just never gonna do anything good with it. So I've deduced from my what I don't know what it's called. I have deduced from my investigation. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. It makes sense now. I've deemed it so. That Lapras VMAX sucks. It's not a good card. It's not nearly as powerful as any of the other water attackers you have in Expanded. Like, even just Keldeo V. Keldeo V has the same attack as Lapras VMAX, except it has, 40 less base power, but still 30 for each attached to it. It's not a VMAX. So that's just better, in my opinion. And you have other cards, like even Keldeo EX and all the older stuff. It's just out of its class. It's significantly weaker than everything else, and it's just not worth playing. If you want to play a water deck, maybe we'll have more success with Inteleon VMAX when I play that soon. I think that's the next set. Yes, that will be after I'm done with all the Sword Shield base set VMAXs. It will be onto them. Maybe... Is there any other water VMAXs? I don't know. There might be. Maybe, but they're probably better than Lapras VMAX. I'm putting Lapras VMAX on the tier list. It's going down. It's going down to what? What does it go? S, A, B, C, and we'll put D. D is the worst. Lapras VMAX is D tier in terms of any other VMAX in Expanded at the moment. And that tier list is going to expand. I'm going to try to do these weekly/bi-weekly, depending on when I can stream and edit a video in sequence. Because I'm going to be streaming. All this testing I'm going to be doing streaming over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/checkered. Check it out. You can come help me build a deck. Next week, or next time I stream, I'm going to be playing a Morpeko VMAX. Morpeko saw some success when it first came out and expanded, so I'm looking to see if it's able to continue and carry the mantle on of being actually playable. So check it out. Thanks for watching this video. It's a little bit shorter than usual, but I kind of like keeping it short and simple. any comments, any suggestions. Maybe I can come back to this deck and play it on stream. If I missed something, let me know in the comments. Follow me on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, and I'll see you guys sometime soon. Thanks for watching.